What if I told you the most powerful technology of our century, the AI that writes your emails and is reshaping our world, was born completely by accident? It was born inside Google. In 2017, a small team working on a simple side project to improve language translation stumbled upon a massive, civilization-altering breakthrough. But Google didn't grasp what they had done. Almost no one did. Only the core developers truly understood and appreciated the magnitude of their discovery. So they did what brilliant people do when their work isn't understood. They left Google. And they took the most groundbreaking idea of the century with them, and not only built the competition, but set the stage for an AI takeover that is still occurring in real time. Google Search, the internet's front door for 20 years, is getting worse by the month, and you've probably noticed. And the fallout reaches further than that. The internet, the businesses and websites that you love, and even the truth itself. Our entire society is fundamentally changing because of AI, and into what? Nobody can say. You have every right to be scared, because no one knows where this train goes, but we know exactly where it started. This is the story of Google Search, of AI, and of losing the free open internet we grew up with. In June of 2017, 8 researchers at Google published a short paper on an online research archive with zero publicity. It was just a PDF with a title riffing on a Beatles song. Attention is all you need. On the surface, it was just a translation tool, a better way to turn English into German. It seemed completely innocent. But buried inside was a breakthrough so profound it was destined to rewrite human history. A completely new way for machines to handle language. Every system before it read a sentence the way you do, one word at a time. This one read everything at once. They named the technique attention because it taught the machine what to pay attention to. The system built around it could transform one language into another, so they called it the transformer. And the transformer turned out to be incredibly good at predicting what comes next, on any topic, in any style, and at any length. And once a machine can do that well enough, predicting the next word stops looking like autocomplete and starts looking like writing. But what if you trained the machine on more than translation? What if you trained it on an incredible stack of information? Theoretically, it could help you with anything. And here's what made this paper a true Trojan horse. If a machine can answer you directly, there's no need to search the internet at all. Google's own researchers had just created the kryptonite to Google Search. It sat right there in their own building, on their own servers, the one weapon on Earth that could kill their entire empire, and almost nobody at Google noticed. Now, Google had spent years recruiting nearly every major name in AI research, and the price of getting them in the door was letting them keep publishing. That's the currency academic careers run on. Normally, that's a great trade. Brilliant people join, they publish, everyone wins. But it only works if someone recognizes in the moment which paper is too important to let out the door. And in 2017, a paper about machine translation didn't look like one of them. But it was the piece AI researchers had been missing. Google had it all, and then they gave away the farm by accident. And giving away the paper wasn't even the worst of it. All 8 researchers who wrote it eventually left Google. They went on to help found other AI companies, Character AI, Cohere, Sakana AI, and Essential AI, among others. A year later in 2018, a lab called OpenAI took the architecture straight from the public paper and built something they called GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, a model trained to do one thing over and over at enormous scale, predict the next word in a sequence of text until it could generate entire passages on its own. Version 1 was barely a footnote, but it proved the principle was sound. Then came GPT-2 in 2019. It was so good at generating convincing text that OpenAI refused to fully release it. They staged it out slowly instead, publicly citing fears of fake news at industrial scale, impersonation, and automated abuse. An AI lab looked at its own invention and got scared of it. That should have been the story of the year. But almost nobody outside the field even heard about it. Then in 2020 came GPT-3, over 100 times bigger, and this time developers could plug straight into it. All over the internet, small teams quietly started building tools that could write, code, and hold conversations. And it stayed that way for 2 more years, refined and scaled inside labs, developer forums, and private betas. During this period, OpenAI learned how to make their AI behave, which meant they eyed an eventual public release. And because all of this development happened out of the public view, what came next felt like it came out of nowhere. On November 30th, 2022, with no keynote and no ad campaign, OpenAI published a blog post announcing a free research preview, their words, of a chatbot. They called it ChatGPT. Under the hood, it was nothing new. GPT-3 tuned into GPT 3.5, the same core idea from a quiet Google paper 5 years earlier. The revolution wasn't the technology, it was this universal access. For the first time, anyone with a web browser could type a question and watch a machine write back. 1 million people signed up in the first 5 days. Within 2 months, that number hit 100 million. TikTok needed 9 months to do that, and Instagram needed 2.5 years. And inside Google, reports described something close to panic. Leadership declared an internal code red and called founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, 2 of the richest men alive, back into the building for emergency meetings, all because of a free chatbot released as an experiment. The empire of 8.5 billion searches a day was suddenly playing defense, and that defense came at a price nobody at Google ever wanted to pay. For 20 years, the deal was simple. You asked a question, Google showed you 10 blue links, and you clicked one. Every click fed a website. Many carried ads, and those ads made Google one of the richest companies in history. The click was the currency of the entire internet, and Google was Fort Knox. Then AI broke the system. When a machine simply answers your question, there's nothing left to click. Google faced an impossible choice. Let ChatGPT become the place people go for answers, or put its own AI answers on top of its own search results and strangle its own clicks. Google chose to bury its own results beneath its own AI, and the internet we grew up with was officially gone. And it wouldn't be the first time Google chose growth over what made it great either. In 1 year, the traffic Google sends to websites dropped nearly 40%, and barely any of those clicks went to ChatGPT. They simply vanished, swallowed by the AI answers sitting on top of the results. Now remember how Google search keeps feeling worse? Well, it is worse, and this is why. The links you want sit buried beneath the AI's answer, while the websites that feed the search slowly starve underneath it. No clicks, no revenue, no business. And the collateral damage is staggering. Roughly 7 out of 10 Google searches now end without a single click on anything, a number that has exploded since the AI answers arrived. The websites underneath are collapsing. Business Insider lost more than 85% of its Google traffic in a single year. A beloved travel blog that ran for 17 years watched its readers vanish, laid off its staff, and shut down entirely. The publishers still standing are fighting back. The owner of Rolling Stone and Variety is suing Google in federal court. European regulators have opened investigations, and some of the biggest names in news are openly discussing something once unthinkable: blocking Google completely. But here's the trap nobody can escape. Those AI answers are built from the very websites they're starving. Fewer websites means less to learn from. Less to learn from means worse answers. The machine is slowly eating its own food supply, and the entire open internet is caught in the middle. At the very beginning, I told you nobody knows where this train goes. That's still true. But from here, you can see the shape of the track ahead. The old internet, content in exchange for clicks, is dead, and a new economy is being negotiated in real time. Reddit now charges Google $60 million a year just to learn from its message boards, and Cloudflare, which shields a massive share of the world's websites, is about to start blocking AI crawlers by default, building a toll booth where AI companies pay for every page they read. The free lunch that built AI is ending. One path leads to a smaller, locked internet, human writing retreating behind paywalls, the open web shrinking into a museum. But the strangest problem belongs to the machines themselves. More than half of all web traffic today isn't even human, it's bots. The internet is filling with machine-written text, which means tomorrow's AI will increasingly learn from today's AI. It becomes a copy of a copy of a copy. Researchers already have a name for it: model collapse. Each generation losing a little more of the human signal it was built on. So what happens when the supply of human answers runs out? What happens when AI starts learning from itself? Whatever comes next, nobody is steering. Not Google, not OpenAI, and not the courts. The next chapter is being written right now, one question at a time. AI is killing Google search, and what we're mourning isn't the 10 blue links. It's the free internet we thought we had. So where does that leave you? With more power than you'd think. Remember, the click was the currency of the entire internet, and it still is. So spend yours deliberately. When an answer matters, don't stop at the AI summary. Click through the human being who did the work. Go directly to the sites you love, bookmark them, sign up for their newsletters, and pay for the ones that matter most. Because the economy that used to fund them is gone, and direct support is what replaces it. The open internet was built by people showing up for each other's work. Keeping it alive works the same way. If you're into the hidden history behind great discoveries, this is what we do here. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's figure the rest of it out together. Wisdom,